The meeting of two great teachers. Jesus Christ and Buddha met in a garden so heavenly that it seemed to glow with the divine light. The garden was surrounded by lush trees and fragrant flowers, and a gentle breeze carried the sweet scent of blossoms. The grass was a vibrant shade of green, and it was so soft that it felt like walking on a cloud. The garden was filled with the sound of birds chirping and bees buzzing, adding to its serene and peaceful atmosphere. As Jesus and Buddha walked through the garden, they felt a sense of calm and serenity that was unlike anything they had ever experienced before. It was as if the garden was a physical manifestation of the divine love that they both taught, and they felt a deep connection to each other and to the garden itself. They found a quiet spot to sit and began their discussion, surrounded by the beauty of the garden and the peace it brought. They knew that they were in a special place, and a place where they could speak freely and learn from each other. The heavenly garden was the perfect setting for their meeting, and they knew that they were about to embark on a journey of discovery and enlightenment. Jesus began, "What a beautiful garden! It feels as though we're in heaven itself." Buddha: "Indeed, the peace and tranquility of this place is beyond words." Jesus: "I feel as though I could sit here forever, just taking in the beauty and the stillness." Buddha: "Yes, it is a rare moment of stillness in a world that is always moving, but we are here to discuss love and enlightenment, are we not?" Jesus: "Yes, of course. Love is at the heart of all that I teach. It is the one thing that can transform the world and bring true peace." Buddha: "I agree. Love is not just an emotion, but a state of being. It is the foundation of all spiritual practice." Jesus: "And yet, so many people struggle to love themselves and others. Why do you think that is?" Buddha: "I believe it is because people are too attached to their own desires and fears. They are always seeking happiness outside themselves, when true happiness can only be found within." Jesus: "That's a profound insight. I often speak of the importance of turning within and finding the kingdom of God that is within us." Buddha: "Yes, and I teach the importance of letting go, of attachment, and finding enlightenment within ourselves. In that sense, love and enlightenment are one and the same." Jesus: "I see. Love is the path to enlightenment. Enlightenment is the realization of perfect love." Buddha: "Exactly. And this garden, this heavenly place, is a reminder of the divine love that is always within us, waiting to be discovered." Jesus: "Buddha, I have been pondering on the definition of love. How would you define it?" Buddha: "Love is not something that can be easily defined, my friend. It is a feeling that comes from deep within our hearts." Jesus: "I agree. Love is not just an emotion, it's a state of being. But what does that mean exactly?" Buddha: "To me, love is the universal force that binds all of creation together. It is the energy that flows through all living things, connecting us to one another and to the divine." Jesus: "Yes, that is beautifully said. I would add that love is also self-giving. It is about putting the needs and interests of others before our own." Buddha: "Indeed, love is the absence of selfishness and the presence of compassion and kindness." Jesus: "I see. And how can we cultivate this kind of love in ourselves?" Buddha: "We can start by letting go of our attachment to our own desires and fears. When we are no longer driven by our ego, we can begin to see the world and others with clarity and empathy." Jesus: "That is a wise perspective. For me, love is also about forgiveness. When we forgive others, we release ourselves from the burden of anger and resentment." Buddha: "Forgiveness is a powerful act of love, for it acknowledges the humanity of those who have hurt us and allows us to move forward with grace." Jesus: "Yes, and that grace is a manifestation of God's love for us. Love, forgiveness, compassion, kindness, and grace. These are all facets of the diamond of love." Buddha: "Indeed, my friend, love is like a diamond, with many facets and colors. It is up to us to discover its beauty and let it shine through us." Jesus: "Buddha, I've been reflecting on the role of love in overcoming hatred and violence in the world. What are your thoughts on this? Buddha. Hatred and violence are born from fear and ignorance. They are a result of our attachment to our own desires and the illusion of separateness. Jesus. Yes, I have witnessed firsthand the destructive power of hatred and violence, but I also know that love has the power to transform even the most hardened hearts. Buddha. Indeed, love is the only force that can overcome hatred and violence, but it is not an easy path, for it requires us to let go of our ego and embrace the humanity of those who would seek to harm us. Jesus. That's true. It requires us to be vulnerable and to extend ourselves in love, even when it feels risky or uncomfortable. Buddha. It also requires us to recognize that those who would hurt us are also suffering, and that they too are in need of love and compassion. Jesus. Yes, but I know that when we extend love and forgiveness to our enemies, we not only heal ourselves, but also contribute to the healing of the world. Buddha. Agreed. Love is the balm that soothes our wounds and the light that guides us out of the darkness of hatred and violence. Jesus. And I believe that the more we cultivate love in ourselves, the more we can spread it to others and inspire them to do the same. Buddha. Indeed, love is a force that multiplies itself, and the more we give, the more we receive. Buddha. Jesus, I've been thinking about the concept of love and how it relates to our relationship with others. In the Bible it says, "Love your neighbor as yourself." What does this mean to you? Jesus. I believe that this commandment is at the heart of Christianity, for it calls us to extend love and compassion to all those around us. Buddha. I agree. I also believe that this commandment is not limited to Christianity, but is a universal truth that can be found in all religions and spiritual traditions. Jesus. Yes, I believe that too. Loving our neighbors means treating others with the same kindness and respect that we would want for ourselves. Buddha. Exactly. And this means not just those who are similar to us, but also those who may be different or difficult to love. It is a call to see the divine in all beings and to honor the interconnectedness of all things. Jesus. I couldn't agree more. And I believe that when we love our neighbors, we are also called to speak out against injustice and oppression. It means advocating for the marginalized and standing up for what is right. But yes, I believe that advocating for justice is an expression of love, for it acknowledges the worth and dignity of every human being. Jesus. And I also believe that loving our neighbors means being willing to forgive and extend grace, even to those who may have hurt us. But forgiveness is a powerful act of love, for it releases us from the chains of anger and resentment and allows us to move forward with compassion and understanding. Jesus. Well said, my friend. Love is the foundation of all spiritual practice, and it is the key to building a more just and peaceful world. Buddha. Jesus, I have been contemplating the power of love and how it can transform our lives. What are your thoughts on this? Jesus. Love is the most powerful force in the universe. It has the ability to heal, to unite, and to bring about profound transformation. Buddha. Yes, I believe that love is the ultimate truth, and that it is the key to enlightenment. When we cultivate love in our hearts, we connect with the divine and experience a sense of wholeness and peace. Jesus. Exactly. And I also believe that love has the power to heal our relationships with others. When we approach others with love and compassion, we create a safe and supportive environment that allows for growth and transformation. Buddha. I agree. And I believe that love is just not a feeling, but a way of being in the world. It's a state of consciousness that we can cultivate through meditation and other spiritual practices. Jesus. Yes, and I believe that love is also a choice. We can choose to love others, even when it may be difficult or challenging. This is the kind of love that transforms not just ourselves, but the world around us. Buddha. I couldn't agree more. And I believe that when we cultivate love in our hearts, we become beacons of light and hope in the world. We radiate love and compassion, and this has a ripple effect that touches everyone around us. Jesus. Well said, my friend. Love is the key to enlightenment and the foundation of all spiritual practice. May we continue to cultivate love in our hearts and share it with the world. Buddha. Jesus, I've been thinking about relationships between love and compassion. How do you see these two concepts working together? Jesus. I believe that love and compassion are intimately connected. Love is the foundation, the seed from which compassion grows. Compassion is the action that springs forth from love. Buddha. Yes, I agree. Love is the source of compassion, and compassion is the expression of love. When we love others, we feel their suffering and are moved to help them. Jesus. Exactly. And I also believe that compassion is not just about helping others, but about recognizing our shared humanity. When we feel compassion for others, we recognize that we are all interconnected and that their suffering is our own. Buddha. Yes, I believe that compassion is a recognition of our oneness with all beings. It is the realization that we are all part of the same web of life, and that what affects one of us affects us all. Jesus. I believe that when we approach others in love with compassion, we create a sense of safety and trust. This allows for deeper connections to be formed and for healing to take place. Buddha. Yes, and I believe that when we cultivate love and compassion in our hearts, we become more fully human. We connect with the divine within ourselves and others, and experience a sense of joy and peace. Jesus. Well said, my friend. Love and compassion are essential to our spiritual growth and to building a more just and compassionate world. Jesus. Buddha, I believe that fear is one of the greatest obstacles to experiencing love and enlightenment. What are your thoughts on this? Buddha. I agree. Fear is a powerful force that can hold us back from experiencing our true nature. When we are afraid, we contract and become closed off to the world around us. Jesus. Exactly. And I believe that the antidote to fear is love. When we approach our fears with love and compassion, we create a safe and supportive environment that allows us to face our fears and move beyond them. Buddha. Yes, I believe that love and fear can coexist. When we cultivate love in our hearts, fear dissipates and we experience a sense of freedom and liberation. Jesus. And I believe that one of the ways we can overcome fear with love is by practicing forgiveness. When we forgive ourselves and others, we release the grip of fear and create space for love to enter. Buddha. Yes, forgiveness is a powerful practice that can transform our lives. It allows us to let go of the past and embrace the present moment with an open heart. Jesus. And I also believe that when we approach others with love and compassion, we create a ripple effect that can transform the world. Our love can inspire others to let go of their fears and embrace a more loving and compassionate way of being in the world. Buddha. Well said, my friend. Love is the antidote to fear and the key to living a life full of freedom and liberation. Buddha. Jesus, I have been reflecting on the role of love in our relationships. How do you see love influencing our connections with others? Jesus. I believe that love is the foundation of all healthy relationships. When we approach others with love, we create a sense of safety, trust, and intimacy. Buddha. Yes, and I believe that love is also about acceptance and letting go of expectations. When we love others unconditionally, we allow them to be who they are without trying to change them or control them. Jesus. And I also believe that love is about selflessness. When we love others, we put their needs before our own and seek to serve them with humility and compassion. Buddha. Yes, and I believe that love is about cultivating compassion and empathy. When we truly love someone, we feel their suffering and are moved to alleviate it. Jesus. Exactly. And I also believe that love is about forgiveness. When we love others, we are willing to forgive them for their mistakes and shortcomings and to extend grace and compassion. Buddha. Yes, forgiveness is essential to building healthy and sustainable relationships. It allows us to let go of resentment and grudges and to move forward with an open heart. Jesus. I also believe that love is about communication. When we love others, we seek to understand them and to express ourselves with honesty and vulnerability. Buddha. Communication is vital to building intimacy and connection in our relationships. When we communicate with love and respect, we create a space for growth and healing. Jesus. Well said, my friend. Love is the foundation of healthy relationships and the key to cultivating intimacy, trust, and compassion. Jesus. Buddha. I am curious to know more about the role of love in your teachings. Can you share some of your insights from Buddhist texts? Buddha. Certainly, Jesus. In the Buddhist tradition, love is an essential component of the path to enlightenment. We believe that love is the foundation of compassion, and compassion is the root of all virtuous actions. Jesus. That's beautiful. And how do you cultivate love in your practice? Buddha. We cultivate love through the practice of metta, or loving kindness meditation. In this practice, we offer love and goodwill to ourselves and others, without exception. Jesus. That sounds similar to the Christian practice of loving your neighbor as yourself. How does this practice lead to enlightenment? Buddha. The practice of metta helps us overcome the ego-centeredness that separates us from others and from the world around us. When we cultivate love for all beings, we begin to see the interconnectedness of all things and to realize our true nature as part of the greater whole. Jesus. Yes, I believe that the more we love and serve others, the closer we come to experiencing our true identity as children of God. And I also believe that love is the key to transcending suffering and finding inner peace. Buddha. Indeed, Jesus. In the Buddhist tradition, we believe that the ultimate goal of our practice is to transcend suffering and find liberation. And love is the path to that liberation, as it allows us to cultivate compassion, wisdom, and inner peace. Jesus. Thank you, Buddha, for sharing your wisdom with me. I believe that our teachings are more similar than they are different, and that love is the common thread that unites all spiritual traditions. Buddha. Jesus, I have been reflecting on the importance of serving others as a way to express love. How do you see service to others in your teachings? Jesus. Service to others is a central aspect of my teachings and is rooted in the commandment to love your neighbor as yourself. In the Bible, it is written, "For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many." Buddha. I see. And how does service to others lead to spiritual growth? Jesus. Service to others allows us to express our love in practical ways and to make a positive impact on the world. It also helps us to cultivate humility, compassion, and gratitude. In the Bible, it says, "Whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant." Buddha. I understand. And how do you balance service to others with self-care and personal growth? Jesus. It is important to find balance between serving others and taking care of ourselves. This means that we must also love and care for ourselves so that we can continue to serve others with strength and compassion. Buddha. That makes sense. And how do you approach serving those who are difficult or ungrateful? Jesus. Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Serving those who are difficult or ungrateful can be a challenge, but it is an opportunity to practice forgiveness and compassion. It is also important to set healthy boundaries and to take care of our own well-being. Buddha. I see. Thank you for sharing your insights, Jesus. Service to others is an important aspect of spiritual growth and expression of love. Jesus and Buddha sit in silence, gazing out at the beauty of nature around them. The sun is setting, casting a warm glow over the landscape. Buddha. Jesus, do you feel a sense of transcendence when you are surrounded by the beauty of nature? Jesus. Yes, Buddha. In the Bible it says, "The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the works of his hand." When I am in nature, I feel a deep sense of connection to God and to all of creation. Buddha. I feel the same way, Jesus. In our tradition, we believe that the natural world is a manifestation of the divine, and that by connecting with nature, we can connect with our own true nature. Jesus. That's beautiful. And I also believe that the experience of transcendence can be found in love. When we love deeply and selflessly, we are able to transcend our own ego-centered concerns and connect with something greater than ourselves. Buddha. I agree, Jesus. In the Buddhist tradition, we believe that the ultimate goal of our practice is to transcend the limitations of the self and to connect with the universal consciousness. Love is the path to that transcendence, as it allows us to let go of our own selfish desires and to focus on the well-being of others. Jesus. Yes, and I believe that this kind of love is not limited to romantic or familial love, but can be extended to all beings, regardless of their background or beliefs. Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Buddha. That is a beautiful sentiment, Jesus. And I believe that by extending love to all beings, we can create a more peaceful and compassionate world and experience the transcendence that comes from connecting with the divine. Jesus and Buddha sit in silence once more, enjoying the beauty of nature and the presence of each other's company. As their conversation draws to a close, Jesus and Buddha exchange a final glance, each one filled with a deep sense of understanding and compassion for the other. We have covered a lot of ground in our conversations, my friend, says Jesus. And yet I feel there is still so much more to be said. Buddha nods in agreement. Indeed, there is always more to learn and explore, especially when it comes to the mysteries of love and enlightenment. Jesus smiles. That is true, Buddha, but I believe that we have also discovered something profound in our conversations, the call to love. Buddha nods again. Yes, the call to love is at the heart of all spiritual traditions. It is the path to enlightenment, the key to transcending the limitations of the self, and the means by which we can create a more peaceful and compassionate world. Jesus takes a deep breath, savoring the beauty of the moment. I am grateful for our conversations, Buddha. They have taught me so much about the nature of love and about the beauty of your tradition. Buddha bows his head in acknowledgement. And I am grateful for you, Jesus. You have shown me the power and compassion of selflessness and have reminded me of the importance of faith and devotion. The two friends sit in silence for a moment, feeling the weight of the moment. And then, with a gentle smile, Jesus rises to his feet. It's time for me to go, my friend, but know that our conversations will stay with me always, and that the call to love will guide me in all that I do. Buddha rises as well, and the two embrace warmly. May you continue to walk in love and light, Jesus, says Buddha. And may you continue to find enlightenment and peace, my friend, replies Jesus. And with that, Jesus turns and begins to walk away, his heart filled with love and his soul filled with the light of 1,000,000 stars.